Once upon a time, in the grand city of Babylon, lived a mighty king named Nebuchadnezzar. He was so proud and powerful that he decided to build a giant statue of himself, made entirely of shimmering, glistening gold. It stood tall, reaching for the sky, a symbol of his greatness. The king sent out a decree to all the people in his kingdom. He announced, "When you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the lyre, and all kinds of music, you must fall down and worship my golden statue. Anyone who disobeys will be thrown into a blazing, fiery furnace." Among the people were 3 brave young men whose names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were friends, and they served the one true God. When the music began to play, everyone around them bowed low to the ground. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood tall. They knew they could only worship their God, the creator of heaven and earth. Soon, some of the king's advisors, who were jealous of the 3 friends, rushed to the king. "O king," they said, "those 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, have defied your command. They refuse to worship your golden statue." King Nebuchadnezzar's face turned red with fury. He couldn't believe anyone would dare to disobey him. He ordered the guards to bring the 3 friends before him. "Is it true?" he roared. "Do you refuse to bow down to my statue? I will give you one more chance. If you bow when the music plays, you will live. But if you do not, you will be thrown into the fiery furnace this very hour. And what God will be able to rescue you from my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego looked at the king with courage in their hearts. They replied calmly, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us, and he will deliver us from your hand, O king. But even if he does not, we want you to know, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden statue you have set up." The king was now so enraged that his face was distorted with anger. He screamed at his soldiers, "Heat the furnace 7 times hotter than usual." The fire grew so intensely hot that the flames leaped out of the furnace opening. The king then commanded his strongest soldiers to tie up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego with all their clothes on their robes, their turbans, everything gant, to throw them into the heart of the blazing inferno. The soldiers did as they were told. They grabbed the 3 friends and hurled them into the fire. But the furnace was so incredibly hot that the flames that shot out from it instantly consumed the strong soldiers who threw them in. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego fell, bound, into the middle of the roaring flames. It seemed like their story was over, a terrible end for 3 brave men. But then something astonishing happened. King Nebuchadnezzar, who was watching from a safe distance, leaped to his feet in utter amazement. His eyes were wide with disbelief. He turned to his counselors and stammered, "Weren't there 3 men that we tied up and threw into the fire?" They replied, "Certainly, O king." "Look," he shouted, pointing a trembling finger toward the furnace. "I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." Inside the furnace, a miracle was unfolding. The ropes that had bound Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were burned away, but the fire didn't touch them. They weren't screaming in pain. They were walking freely amidst the flames, and with them was a 4th figure, shining with a heavenly light, protecting them from all harm. This was an angel, or even Jesus himself, walking with them in their darkest hour, turning their trial into a triumph. They were not alone. The king, completely stunned, crept closer to the mouth of the fiery furnace. Called out Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God. Come out. Come here. So the three friends walked right out of the middle of the fire. All the king's advisors, governors, and counselors gathered around them, staring in wonder. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. The fire had no power over their bodies. Not a single hair on their heads was singed. Their robes weren't scorched, and there wasn't even the slightest smell of smoke on them. It was as if they had just come from a pleasant walk, not a blazing furnace, heated 7 times hotter than normal. They were completely and perfectly unharmed. Seeing this undeniable miracle, King Nebuchadnezzar was humbled. He lifted his voice and declared, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and were willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own God." The king then made a new law for the entire kingdom. He decreed that anyone from any nation or language who said anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego would be punished severely. For no other God, the king announced, can save in this way. He then promoted the 3 brave friends to even higher positions in the province of Babylon. As the news of the miracle spread, something magical happened in the natural world. It was as if all of creation was celebrating. The mighty lions in their dens, who had watched the events with knowing eyes, seemed to bow their heads in respect. The little birds in the trees, who had fallen silent in fear, now burst into a chorus of song, louder and more beautiful than ever before. The squirrels chattered excitedly, and even the timid deer in the forest seemed to stand a little taller. All of nature was joining in to praise the God who saved. This incredible story teaches us something so important. Sometimes in life, we face Orawan fiery furnaces. These could be difficult situations at school, pressures from friends, or moments when it's hard to do the right thing. But just like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when you choose to stand for what is right, when you stand for Jesus, you are never alone. He promises to be with you, to walk with you through the fire, and to bring you out safely on the other side. Your courage and faith can turn any scary situation into a miracle. Thank you so much for listening to this story with me. Remember to always be brave and trust in God. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more amazing Bible stories. Good night and sleep well.